Ever get those moments where like a simple saying just kind of hits you?
Hmm.
Like it unlocks something you knew all along, but never quite put into words.
Yeah.
That's what today's deep dive is all about, unlocking that timeless wisdom passed down through generations. We're diving into wisdom from elders, transformative insights that will reshape your perspective. It's a collection of proverbs and sayings packed with truth bombs about trust, resilience, success, you name it. And I got to say, I was blown away by how relevant these age-old sayings still feel today.
Yeah.
It's like a window into the shared human experience.
Exactly. It's fascinating how these proverbs capture universal truths about life and relationships that resonate across cultures and time.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as tapping into a well of collective wisdom, insights gleaned from generations of human experience. And you're right, even though they were written ages ago, they still feel incredibly relevant to the challenges we face in our modern lives.
Totally. So are you ready to unpack some of these gems?
Absolutely. And just a heads up, some of this advice might seem contradictory.
Okay.
That's part of the beauty of it, though. It invites you to think critically and figure out what resonates most with you.
Love that. Okay, let's dive into our first theme, trust and relationships.
Oh, okay.
There's this one proverb that really struck me. Be careful who you trust, salt and sugar look the same. It's a good reminder that things aren't always what they seem, right?
Right.
Have you ever been burned by someone you thought you could trust?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all have at some point.
Yeah.
That's why discernment is so crucial in relationships. It's like you want to be open to connection, but also wise about who you let into your inner circle.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between protecting yourself and staying open.
Yeah.
It can be tricky.
It definitely can be. And, you know, there's another proverb in here that adds another layer to this whole trust thing.
Okay.
Don't depend too much on anyone in this world, because even your own shadow leaves you when you are in darkness.
Whoa, that's deep.
Mm.
So are these two sayings at odds with each other?
Mm.
Trust, but don't trust too much.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway here?
That's the beauty of wisdom traditions. They often present seemingly contradictory ideas, encouraging you to wrestle with the nuances. It's not about absolutes, but about navigating the complexities of human relationships.
Okay, I'm starting to see what you mean. So it's not about shutting everyone out, but about cultivating that inner strength and resilience so you can handle those times when you're left to face the darkness alone.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that while healthier relationships are essential, there will be times when you have to rely on yourself. It's about developing that inner compass, that unshakable sense of self.
I'm hearing you. Trust is key, but so is having your own back. Okay, that was deep. Ready to move on to our next theme?
Yeah, let's do it.
This one's all about success. And let's be honest, who doesn't want a little more of that in their lives?
Right.
So this book had a lot to say about success, but one quote that really hit home for me was, striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted.
Yes. That's a classic for a reason. You can't expect to achieve anything worthwhile without putting in the effort.
It's so true, though.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just like sit around and wait for success to fall into your lap.
Absolutely. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up. They're looking for shortcuts, quick fixes, when real success, the kind that lasts, requires dedication, consistency, and a willingness to show up, even when it's hard.
It's like that saying, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly. It's about those small, consistent actions, those daily deposits in your success bank that really add up over time.
It's about playing the long game.
Exactly. So I'm curious, what are some things you do consistently that have contributed to your success?
You know, that's a great question. I'm a big believer in setting small, achievable goals for myself. Like it could be as simple as, writing for an hour every day or learning a new skill. It's not always easy to stay motivated. But I find that breaking down larger goals into smaller steps makes the journey feel less daunting. And honestly, there's nothing more satisfying than looking back and seeing how far you've come. What about you? Any tips for staying motivated?
For me, it's all about having a clear vision of what I'm working towards. I like to remind myself of the why behind my goals, especially when things get tough. And, sometimes it's also about giving yourself permission to not be perfect, to embrace the ups and downs that are a part of any journey.
So true. It's about progress, not perfection. Speaking of which, there's another gem in here that touches on a big obstacle to success, especially in today's world. Don't ruin a good today by thinking about a bad yesterday. Let it go. Let it go.
Yes. Letting go of the past. That's a big one. It's so easy to get bogged down by regrets and mistakes, but that only holds you back from moving forward.
It's easier said than done, though. Do you have any advice for someone who's struggling to let go of the past?
One thing that helps me is reframing those past experiences as learning opportunities. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, I try to ask myself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to make better choices in the future? It's about shifting from a mindset of regret to a mindset of growth.
That's a great way to look at it.
Right.
Turn those failures into stepping stones.
Exactly. And on that note, this next proverb feels incredibly relevant, especially in the age of social media. Someone else's progress doesn't make yours any less.
Oh, that's a good one. It's so easy to fall into the comparison trap, right?
Totally. We're constantly bombarded with images of other people's highlight reels, which can make it hard to appreciate our own journeys. But the truth is, everyone's path is different. And comparing yourself to others only steals your joy and focus.
It's like that Theodore Roosevelt quote, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes, exactly.
It's so important to remember that we're all running our own races. What are your thoughts on this? Have you ever found yourself comparing your journey to others? It's so easy to get caught up in that, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're scrolling through social media and everyone's accomplishments are right there in your face.
It's like a highlight reel on repeat. But something that really helps me is focusing on my own definition of success.
Okay.
Like, what does it actually look like for me? And how can I measure my progress based on my own goals and values, not someone else's?
That's such a powerful reframe. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's about defining what truly matters to you and building a life that aligns with that vision.
Exactly. And speaking of building a life you love, this next theme really spoke to me. It's all about self-knowledge and authenticity.
Ooh, yes. This section was full of truth bombs. There's this one quote that I think about all the time now. If you don't control your mind, someone else will.
Oh, wow.
It's like we have so much information coming at us from all directions these days. How do we even begin to take control?
It's definitely a challenge. For me, it starts with awareness. Paying attention to what thoughts and beliefs you're allowing to take root in your mind. Like, are they serving you or are they holding you back?
That's so true. It's like that saying, your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds.
I love that analogy. And once you're aware of those thoughts, you can start to choose which ones you want to nurture and which ones you want to let go of.
So it's about being intentional with our thoughts.
Exactly. And it's not about suppressing negative thoughts altogether. That's impossible. But it's about learning to observe them without judgment and choose a more empowering perspective.
That makes sense. It's like training a puppy. You don't punish it for having accidents.
Yeah.
You gently guide it towards the right behavior.
I like that. And this next proverb ties into this idea of self-mastery beautifully. You're being judged no matter what, so be who you want to be.
Right.
Why waste energy trying to please everyone else when you can't please everyone?
Right. It's so liberating when you finally embrace that truth. You're going to be judged regardless. You might as well be true to yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
And when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're living in alignment with your values, the opinions of others just don't hold as much power over you.
It's like you build up this inner confidence that deflects the negativity.
Precisely. And on that note, there's another gem in here that I think is so important, especially for anyone who's ever felt unheard or undervalued. Silence is the best answer to someone who doesn't value your words.
Ooh, that's a powerful one. It reminds me of the quote, not everything deserves a response.
Exactly. Sometimes the most empowering thing you can do is walk away from negativity and refuse to engage.
It's about protecting your energy and choosing your peace.
Absolutely. And finally, this last proverb speaks to the importance of knowing your worth and setting boundaries. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't deserve what you want.
Yes. You teach people how to treat you. And if someone's constantly diminishing your dreams or making you feel small, it might be time to reevaluate that relationship.
Couldn't agree more. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up and support your growth.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of timeless wisdom, what's one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with today?
If there's one thing I hope listeners will remember, it's this. Wisdom is a journey, not a destination. It's about cultivating self-awareness, embracing curiosity, and being open to learning from both the highs and lows of life.
Beautifully said. If you want to dive even deeper into these transformative insights, be sure to check out Wisdom from Elders, transformative insights that will reshape your perspective. You won't regret it. And listeners, before we go, we'd love to hear from you. Which proverb resonated most with you, and how can you apply its wisdom to your life today? Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the heart of wisdom. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep seeking those nuggets of truth that make life richer and more meaningful. you.